All right, welcome to a seasonal review here at Total Toy Recon. Now, we have been dealing with a lot of different things lately, a lot of higher end items, and I kind of wanted to get back to doing some action figures here for a while, and it's been a little, I've been doing some other things here and there, and my wife finally just said, why don't you do a fun one for yourself every once in a while and just do one. That's for fun. And I kind of have to agree with her every once in a while. It's nice to break from the norm. And not that I don't love doing the things that I do, but every once in a while I do pick up something for myself that's not for the channel and not for the Instagram. And I'm just kind of like, hey, I like it. I like whatever it is, the property, the character, and I really want to get into it. And then I get like 20 new things in the mail and I'm like, well, so much for that. I'm not going to get a chance to touch it. But since it's October, I thought, hey, it's high time that I should probably dive into the Hammer Van Helsing Peter Cushing that I picked up. Now, why do I have the Wolfman, Nosferatu, and the Invisible Man in front of me? Well, those were 3 Megos that I actually opened. I do have reviews of some of them, if not all of them, on the channel here, and I will link out to those Mego reviews. We have numerous Mego reviews. I can't believe how many we did at the beginning. The first wave or so, we do have, I do have Frankenstein, I do have as Karloff, and I do have Bela Lugosi's Dracula, but I would not open those. I just didn't want to do it, didn't want to touch them. But I did get Nosferatu, it was classic, 100th anniversary last year, the film's German release, 100th this year. I got the Wolfman, had to. The feet are fantastic. Really like the Wolfman. Great design. Now, the Invisible Man I got because it was solely the Invisible Man. Does come with a little elixir bottle potion, but this is the face of Al Bundy from the original Mego line Wave. No fault to Mego. They were just trying to get everything back up and running again. It's still pretty funky looking. It's still kind of neat. He is clear all the way through, so you could definitely strip him down to nothing. But I got those out so we could do some comparisons if need be. But I did recently pick up Van Helsing. And I've been wanting this figure for a while. I kept seeing it online, Entertainment Earth and such. And I got to go to RetroCon. And lo and behold, Mego Corp had a full table set up. And you know what? It was amazing. They had everybody in the line that was out right now, and it came down to the fact that I really wanted Peter Cushing. I was like, you know what? That's the one I want. And what I want to say was the coolest part was it was holding it in my hand and seeing it in person. That was better than anything I could have expected just to look at them all. And I mean, this was tough because they had the Father's Day Creepshow zombie. Really wanted that one. And they had some Planet of the Apes, and I did pick up a Zira. So I really want to thank Frank Wojo, who was the Mego representative that was there. We talked, we chatted, we had a good time. It was nice to finally meet him. We had been talking here and there over, online for almost like 2 years now. So it was great to see him. But I had to get this Van Helsing from the Hammer collection. One of my all-time favorite actors is Peter Cushing. Here he is from a later Dracula. This was more from the original Dracula film that Hammer did. This was from a later years. You can tell he's much older. It's kind of bummed that the trivia was gone. So, but I mean, that was, what are you going to do? I mean, but this was my first Mego in a while. It wasn't Planet of the Apes. I have Cornelius and Dr. Zaius. And they hang in my office, but I really wanted to get this one. And, there's so much emphasis on horror creatures and monsters in October. Rarely do we get, or just bad guys like Dr. Frankenstein, just like this guy was, same actor who played Dr. Frankenstein. I just thought, hey, for once, let's get a hero. And I really wish that Mego, if you're listening, and I will send you this review, Frank, I'd really like to get a Dr. Childs from Halloween 3. So hopefully things can progress that they can do a Halloween 3, guys. And that would be great to have Dr. Childs, even with Dr. Childs would have a little rubber skull mask they would put on for him so you could tie him up and everything and do that scene. So let's open him up. Let's see what he's like. These figures retail for about $20. and paid cash, so I didn't have to do any shipping or anything. But thank you to RetroCon for allowing me to come and attend and take pictures and stuff. And yeah, I'm just straight up doing it. Yeah, ripping it right out because it's time. It's time to get this stuff out. It's time to have fun and check out this thing. Now, let me be very delicate here. Just give it a little bit of a, there we go. So, Mego obviously made some leaps from that first wave of figures. Is there a little, oh, look at this little Velcro. Ties could use a little work. But, yeah, that looks like Peter Cushing. And that's kind of the jump that I really like. Yeah, it's a vampire, and it sort of looks like Lugosi. It's got the Lugosi label on it and such. And you know, marketing-wise, it works. But here we have a fur coat. We have a great head sculpt. We have 14 points of articulation, so you can really do a lot with it. Standard Mego shoes, you know, that's to be accepted. But here, it doesn't look like we have a real... Do we have an undershirt? Yeah, we do have an undershirt. And I know the coat in this looked very well because before my wife and I had our first child, the plan was that upcoming Halloween, I was going to get even a lady's coat and do the big fur thing. And then I was going to have, because I have this hairline, and have the candlesticks, and she was going to be a Hammer Babe vampire. So we were really going to do it up. We never got to do it, and we're still kind of regretting that we didn't get to do it. But my surface is not the flattest, but there he is, standing up. So the cool thing about this is, and one of my all-time favorite busts that I've always tried to get, it's been long out of print, is that one of the studios, and I don't think it was Diamond Select or Gentle Giant or anything, they actually made Cushing's character with the candlesticks making the cross to like fight Dracula, and it was a bust. It was like a little statue, little bust thing, and it was fantastic, and I absolutely loved it. And I wish I've never been able to get it, and now they're like so high priced, it's ridiculous. Every once in a while, I look for one. I hope that I find one on a lot sale, or I find one like at, you know, if you go to a toy con or something, and then you can do it. But the candlesticks as crosses is such an iconic and awesome look that Hammer did. And you have to wonder, was it scripted that way? Was it just the only thing that was on set that day? You know, what's the legend behind the candlesticks? This is stuff that would have been discussed and talked about for years. You know, if there would have been such a thing as Comic Cons for these guys. But, I mean, I didn't think I could do the pose. And I just did the pose. So that is pretty iconic and pretty awesome. So I'm gotta say, I absolutely love it. It's fantastic. I'm glad that my wife talked me into opening one of these up and just kind of having fun and experiencing, you know, the toys for themselves and just enjoying it itself. There's a lot of swivel action here, but once you kind of get him stationary, he does really have a great look to him. So I have to say, I probably have at least 15 or 20 Peter Cushing action figures now. You know, and it's one of those fun, interesting things in my life that I have a lot of. And as a kid, maybe it's because they never made a Grand Moff Tarkin figure, and I always thought they should have, and I always wanted one, and got it every time it came out, every time it was a new one released, and now I actually have him as Professor Van Helsing. It's just awesome. So thank you, Mego. Make mine Mego. Hashtag make mine Mego. And have a good night.